Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission here, well, it's pretty simple. Take this huge volume of sources on a critical topic and really distill it down.
Yeah, get to the pure essential knowledge you need,
Why?
especially for leading effectively.
Exactly. And for, gosh, the past decade, we've heard endless talk about AI, this force of nature, this wave crashing onto the economy.
Right. And historically, going way back, the story around new tech was often fear, wasn't it? Humans versus the machine, a zero-sum game.
Totally. Think Industrial Revolution, the textile workers worried sick about their jobs.
But what's really crucial to understand now, and the sources make this clear right off the bat,
Okay.
is that the challenge today, it's fundamentally different. It's not really a fight against the machine anymore.
It's more like collaboration.
It's a necessary collaboration. The real challenge of the AI era isn't so much the tech development itself. I mean, that's happening regardless of how we feel.
Right, it's moving forward.
The true frontier, the necessary thing, is the transformation of the human mindset.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it's really tailor-made for any professional out there who feels that, that little thrum of anxiety reading AI headlines.
The senior manager, the specialists.
Yeah, the team lead. We're cutting through all that noise right now to give you the exact roadmap, the mindset shift you need.
To move from that maybe paralyzing feeling of fear or resistance to achieving what we're calling AI fluency.
Exactly. So for you, the learner listening in, this is about getting that knowledge quickly, but, thoroughly.
We're not focusing on teaching you how to write code here.
No.
It's about how to lead. We want to turn that perceived threat of AI into something that undeniably, quantifiably enhances your professional capability.
Okay, let's unpack that first big hurdle then, the mindset barrier. Let's start right at the root. Why does AI, even with all the promises of productivity gains, why does it still create this real, often unspoken anxiety for professionals? We've seen digital transformation before, sure, but this feels, I don't know, different for established professionals. What's the core psychological thing driving this fear?
Well, the sources, they really pinpoint one single dominant factor here.
Okay.
And it's not the sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Fear of machines becoming sentient or anything.
Right, not Skynet.
Not Skynet. The main cause of the resistance, and therefore the anxiety, it really stems from a profound lack of understanding.
Ah, okay.
Most professionals, they fear AI because they just don't really grasp how it works, what its limits are, its logical constraints.
Or how it actually fits into their day-to-day work, right? The decision.
Exactly that. How does it integrate? That's the key question they can't answer.
So it's the unexplained black box. You're in a budget meeting. The CIO says, we're rolling out an AI dashboard for forecasting.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the inputs, the assumptions, the error margin, it's easy to jump to the worst conclusion.
The default is the machine's coming for my job, my whole function. Precisely. And the danger there with that assumption is it immediately triggers professional resistance. It's a natural human reaction.
When you feel helpless, you push back.
You push back to feel some control. And the source material gives a really sharp warning here that fear leads directly to resistance.
And in the AI world.
And in this accelerating AI landscape, resistance, it carries a catastrophic professional cost. The ultimate penalty, they say, is professional irrelevance.
Irrelevance. Wow, that is a stark term.
It is.
So if resistance is the action, irrelevance is the outcome. Let's dive deep on that. How does actively resisting guarantee you stagnate? Especially when, say, your colleague takes a different approach.
Yeah, we're not talking about just minor friction like, oh, it takes an extra week to learn a new software tool.
Yeah.
We are talking about active professional stagnation, choosing strategically to dismiss or undermine AI-enhanced workflows.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like maybe a senior specialist refusing to trust an AI-generated first draft of a report. They choose instead to manually re-research and rewrite, say, 80% of it, or arguing really hard against adopting any automation because they just have this deep belief that the human way is always better no matter what.
Even without evidence for that specific case.
Even without evidence. So the resistance isn't just internal. It's not just in your head.
It slows things down.
It slows down the whole system. It stops the firm from scaling efficiently.
Got it.
When you actively choose to resist, you're immediately cut off from that rising tide of efficiency your peers are starting to use.
You're isolating yourself.
You are. We're talking about a measurable loss of your competitive utility, your value. Imagine two marketing managers, right?
Okay.
One embraces the new generative AI tools, creates 5 versions of ad copy for testing in maybe an hour.
Wow, okay.
The other insists on manually writing two versions over a full day. The one resisting is immediately slower,
More expensive in terms of time.
more resource-intensive,
Yeah.
and less able to iterate and improve quickly compared to the collaborator.
So you're defining irrelevance almost as a relative speed metric. If the global standard for doing task X doubles because AI helps,
Yeah.
and you stick to the old pace, you haven't just fallen behind. Your actual utility shrinks, like exponentially compared to peers using the tech.
That is the hard truth, yes.
Yeah.
If your peer uses an AI dashboard, spots key financial anomalies in 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and you spend 3 days manually digging through spreadsheets to find the same thing, maybe.
You're just less valuable.
You are less valuable to the organization at that point. Resistance guarantees professional stagnation relative to the speed of change and the capability of your peers moving with it.
So you might keep the job title for a bit.
For a time, maybe.
Yeah.
But your competitive edge, your promotion prospects,
Yeah.
your strategic influence, it all diminishes.
Okay, that harsh reality really sets the stage for this pivot we need to talk about. We have to tackle that underlying defensive thought, that little voice in the professional's head saying, AI is going to replace me. We need a fundamental shift away from that whole way of thinking.
The shift is absolutely fundamental, and it has to be conscious, intentional. Professionals must move from that defensive, fear-based mindset, AI will replace me,
Right.
to the proactive, honestly empowering thought. AI will enhance me.
Enhance me.
Enhance me. This concept is probably the single most important turning point for achieving fluency.
Wait.
AI isn't your competitor. It's a capability amplifier.
Okay, capability amplifier. Let's get specific. What does that look like in different fields? How does AI enhance, say, a specialist?
Well, take that financial analyst we just talked about.
Okay.
The defensive mindset sees AI taking over the forecasting job. The enhancement mindset sees AI as a powerful tool for, say, pattern recognition at scale.
Oh.
So the analyst, instead of spending, 80% of their time on tedious data extraction, chart making,
The grunt work.
the grunt work, yeah, they delegate that to the machine. Now they spend 80% of their time on critical judgment, applying ethical checks, providing strategic interpretation of what the AI found, presenting nuanced context to the decision makers.
So the AI lets the human operate at a higher cognitive level.
Exactly. It enhances their strategic value. It frees them up for the work only humans can do.
And this isn't just theory, right? The source material gives us a really compelling human story of this pivot. Let's talk about Sadia.
Yeah, the story of Sadia, she's a senior manager. It perfectly captures this internal shift. When her company rolled out these advanced AI dashboards, automation tools in her workflow, her first reaction, honestly, it was panic. She was established, experienced. She feared all her hard-won knowledge was suddenly, poof, obsolete.
And her question was the one everyone asks, is this thing going to take my job? Or at least diminish my authority?
That's it. And that emotional reaction is totally understandable, completely relatable. But here's the key. She didn't stay stuck there.
Right. What did she do? What was her strategic response? How did she break that fear resistance cycle?
Instead of fighting it, trying to slow down adoption, complaining.
Which are common reactions.
Very common. Sadia chose to immediately invest in building her collaboration skills. She focused her energy on 3 really practical things.
Okay, what were they?
First, mastering prompt writing, understanding the precise language needed to get the AI to do useful work.
Okay, crucial.
Second, learning how to interpret the complex, sometimes, frankly, ambiguous data coming out of these new dashboards.
Right, making sense of it.
And third, understanding the operational limits of the tools, what they couldn't do well.
So she basically treated the AI like a very powerful but maybe slightly clueless junior team member.
That's a great way to put it,
Yeah.
exactly. And the outcome is the really powerful part of the story.
Yeah.
She successfully navigated this shift in leadership style required by the tech. The sources note she didn't just survive the change.
She thrived.
She executed a complete role reversal.
Mm.
She now actively mentors other senior leaders and her team members. She went from fearing replacement to teaching humans how to lead machines.
Wow. That demonstrates that the highest value isn't just doing the work anymore. It's shifting towards technological leadership.
That's the shift. From operational execution to tech leadership.
Which makes the question of future success maybe less about specific technical badges and more about inherent personal qualities. The source identifies 2 non-technical traits that become like the new superpowers in the AI era. Let's look at curiosity and adaptability. Why are these suddenly more valuable than, say, deep technical knowledge?
That's a great question because it flips the old model. In previous industrial revolutions, knowing the tech, mastering the loom, the engine specs, that was your ticket, it guaranteed relevance for decades, maybe.
Right. That specific skill is durable.
But in the AI era, rigid technical knowledge can actually be a rapidly depreciating asset. The specific coding language you master today, the bespoke analytics tool.
Could be obsolete in 18 months.
Exactly. And that pace of change is becoming standard, so that rigid knowledge can become a liability. It locks you into old ways, makes you slow to pivot.
It's the opposite of Saudia's strategy, right? She prioritized collaborating with the tool, not necessarily building it from scratch.
Precisely. Curiosity and adaptability, on the other hand, they're dynamic. They are super skills that withstand these tech shifts.
Okay, define curiosity in this context.
Curiosity is that intrinsic drive. It's what makes you want to play with the new dashboard, test the new automation feature, try to figure out the underlying logic of a tool, even if it feels uncomfortable or challenges how you've always done things.
It's the engine for learning.
It's the engine of continuous learning, yes. A lack of curiosity means you might completely miss a critical market shift that the AI dashboard picked up on first, just because you never bothered to really look at it or understand it.
Oh, okay, and then adaptability. That seems like the crucial operational skill. It's about taking that new knowledge and actually using it quickly.
It's exactly that. It's the willingness to shed old, maybe inefficient processes when a clearly better AI-enhanced process comes along.
Letting go of the way we've always done it.
Letting go. Adaptability is being able to restructure a workflow, reorganize your team, maybe even pivot a whole strategy based on the near real-time insights the machine can provide.
So these two traits are superior because the landscape itself is speeding up, not settling down.
Precisely. Your ability to flex, to learn, to integrate, that's your competitive advantage over any static system, whether that static system is just rigid technical knowledge or an outdated organizational structure.
Okay, so if curiosity and adaptability are the engine driving us, then AI fluency is the destination we're aiming for. We need a really clear, actionable definition here, something a professional can grab onto and turn into actual development goals. What is AI fluency, really, for someone who isn't a coder, isn't a data scientist?
Okay, what's really essential here is how the source material reframes this whole idea of tech literacy, specifically to lower that intimidation barrier for non-technical folks.
That's key.
Fluency is explicitly stated as not being coding. Let's just get that out
Could
there.
you say that in? Not coding.
Not coding. This has to be internalized by the marketing specialist, the senior ops manager, the HR pro. You do not need to become a software engineer to achieve AI fluency.
That right there removes probably the single biggest mental block for most people. They hear AI literacy and think, oh God, I have to learn Python.
Right. Which they don't have time for or inclination for.
So if it's not coding, what's the deeper understanding we do need?
Fluency is defined as the core ability to understand how AI thinks and communicates.
Okay, how AI thinks. What does that mean practically?
It means grasping its internal workings at a conceptual level. We need to understand things like the logic models it uses.
Logic model.
For a manager, this means recognizing AI systems run on huge specific data sets and rule sets. And crucially, the quality of the AI's output is totally dependent on the quality of the data it was trained on.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out, basically. And also the constraints you give it in your prompt.
Right. So a fluent manager knows, okay, this AI was only trained on U.S. market data.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just blindly trust its predictions for the Chinese market without adding a lot of human adjustment and, frankly, ethical consideration.
Exactly. That's fluency in action. And the second part, understanding statistical likelihoods. That's about recognizing the confidence level.
So AI doesn't give truth.
It doesn't give truth. It gives you the most statistically probable answer based on its data. Fluency means knowing the difference between the AI being highly confident, say a 99% likelihood match, versus when it's basically just guessing maybe a 55% likelihood.
That changes everything about how you use the output.
It totally shifts the human role. You move from just accepting the result to critically evaluating the risk attached to it.
Okay, that's the conceptual side. Let's bring it down to the practical, day-to-day. What's the working definition of fluency we can use?
The practical, actionable definition is this. Fluency is the ability to collaborate with AI tools confidently.
Collaborate confidently.
Yeah. This implies a real two-way street, a partnership. It's not just, using a calculator. It's engaging a kind of thought partner,
A partner that's incredibly fast and can handle huge scale.
but lacks context, judgment, common sense sometimes.
Okay, let's explore that nuance of collaboration because this partnership idea is really key, isn't it? In any partnership, human or human machine, you need clear roles.
Absolutely critical.
Hmm.
And in this partnership, the roles are clear. The machine contributes. The human leads.
Human leads, machine contributes.
The human must initiate and guide the whole process. The professional sets the context, provides the ethical guardrails, defines the strategic goal, applies the necessary moral judgment.
While the machine delivers.
The machine provides the precision, the scale of analysis, the raw speed of execution, things humans are slower at.
So if we think of the AI as that indispensable junior partner we talked about,
Yeah.
the professional keeps hold of the most critical functions, the leadership, the judgment, the accountability, and applying that human empathy.
That is the ultimate goal here. We are creating leaders who can skillfully combine human insight, the nuance, the context, the big picture vision, with machine precision,
The heavy lifting, the execution, shifts to the machine.
which frees up the human professional to focus entirely on the burden of judgment, complex decision-making, navigating ambiguity, organizational strategy. That is AI fluency in action.
So you're fluent when you know exactly what the machine can do, what it should do in this specific context, and how to structure your commands, your prompts to get the highest quality, most strategically useful output possible.
That's it. That's the goal. Hashtag tag V. Practical steps to building fluency.
All right, we've nailed down why the mindset shift is crucial, and we have a clear definition of AI fluency as our target. Now let's get super practical. What's the how-to guide? What steps can the learner listening right now start taking, like today, to move towards fluency?
Okay, step one is fundamental. Start small.
Start small.
This is all about demystifying the tech and lowering that psychological hurdle. Don't sit around waiting for your company to implement some huge, complex, enterprise-wide machine learning system.
Don't wait for permission, basically.
It's exactly. Start today. Use easily accessible, low-stakes tools.
Yeah.
Think general chat interfaces like ChatGPT or others. Simple workflow automations may be already built into software you use, or generative tools just for initial brainstorming.
So the idea is to swap that conceptual anxiety for actual hands-on experience.
Yes.
Logging in, hitting generate for the first time on something where the stakes are really low, drafting an email, making a list of ideas, and breaks the mystique of the black box.
Totally. Once you actually see the output, see how the machine responds to different inputs, you start to get a feel for its responsiveness and, yeah, its limitations too. And that experience leads directly into step two, which is really the foundational skill of this new literacy. Practice writing effective prompts.
Okay, prompts. If fluency is collaboration, then prompt writing is the language you use to lead that collaboration. We need to dig into this. What makes a prompt effective? And how does practicing it actually teach you how the AI thinks?
Right. The quality of your prompt is almost a direct reflection of your own strategic clarity.
Ooh, interesting.
When you practice writing effective prompts, you're forced to define the scope, the desired tone, the constraints of the task with, unprecedented precision. It's actually a skill-building exercise for the human as much as it is instructions for the machine.
Okay, let's use a concrete example. Show the difference between a bad prompt and a really good one.
Perfect. Let's imagine a marketing professional needs to draft an internal announcement. 3 tiers of prompts.
Okay, tier 1.
Bad prompt. Write an email about the new product launch.
Useless.
Totally useless. Zero context, zero constraints. The output will be generic mush. You'll spend 100% of your time rewriting it.
Okay, tier 2. Better, but not great.
Intermediate prompt. Write an email announcing the launch of product X to the sales team. Make it exciting.
A little better. It knows the product, the audience.
Right, some context. But make it exciting. That's a poor constraint. The AI lacks the strategic framing. It'll probably churn out generic marketing fluff. Still needs heavy editing.
Okay, tier 3. The fluent prompt. What does that sound like?
Fluent prompt. Act as a highly motivated sales vice president. Draft an internal announcement email about the launch of Quantum Leap, our new enterprise software. The tone must be urgent, focused on the immediate revenue potential for Q4, and clearly articulate the 3 specific features that give us an advantage over competitor Y. The subject line must be less than 50 characters.
Wow. Okay, that's night and day.
Night and day. It gives full context, a precise persona for the AI to adopt, clear constraints on tone and content, even a measurable output format to the subject line.
And writing that fluent prompt forces the human to actually articulate all those strategic assumptions they might normally just keep in their head.
Exactly. The required persona, the competitive landscape, the strategic focus you have to translate it all into a structure the machine can understand. That clarity you create is why the output is suddenly exponentially more useful.
So practicing prompts teaches you what the AI needs to give you good results.
It teaches you the formula: role, task, context, constraints. The professional who practices this isn't just improving their keyboard skills, they're honing their strategic communication skills.
Okay, so you get this detailed output. Maybe it's brilliant, maybe it's questionable. That takes us immediately to step 3, right?
Immediately. Step 3. Evaluate AI outputs critically.
Right. Don't just trust it blindly.
Fluency is absolutely inseparable from healthy skepticism and discernment. The sheer speed of AI output can be seductive. It can lull you into complacency.
Wow, it wrote a 50-page report in 30 seconds. It must be amazing.
Right. But just because it's fast doesn't mean it's correct or appropriate or unbiased. This evaluation step means learning how to verify facts, obviously crucial, but it also means analyzing the potential bias baked into the model.
Bias analysis. Okay, that feels like a really key skill for the human leader.
It's huge. If your AI model was trained on historical data that contained, say, systemic human prejudices.
Like favoring men for promotions in old HR records?
Exactly. The AI output will simply replicate and potentially amplify that bias, just with super high efficiency. The fluent professional has to be able to spot these patterns,
And then what?
and then apply human context, apply ethical standards, and ensure the quality, the appropriateness of the machine's contribution aligns with the company's values, with societal norms.
This is what keeps the human firmly in charge, applying judgment where the AI just applies math.
That's the core distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the final step to make sure this fluency isn't just a one-off skill, but a sustained asset?
Final step.
Step 4 is about keeping the momentum going. Join learning and experimentation communities.
Don't go it alone.
You can't. This field is just evolving way too fast for anyone to learn in a vacuum. Peer learning is absolutely essential.
Sharing what works, what doesn't.
Sharing successes, prompt failures, talking about the best use cases for new tools, rapidly trying out new workflows together. It connects applying the knowledge with continuous discovery.
And it keeps your adaptability high long after you've mastered the first few tools.
Precisely. And that community interaction fights the isolation that can breed that initial fear we talked about. #TagShanC, the unbreakable human edge.
Okay, this is an important transition. If we're defining fluency as this collaboration, this enhancement, we absolutely have to define what's left. What's the irreplaceable core of human leadership? The stuff that just cannot be automated away. What does the source material identify as that unbreakable human edge, the thing that will define leadership going forward?
The sources consistently highlight 3 core human elements, fundamentally non-automatable. These are the pillars, really, of future human leadership,
Yeah.
the essential skills professionals have to cultivate to thrive.
Okay, what are the 3?
Empathy, ethics, and emotional intelligence, EQ.
Empathy, ethics, EQ. Okay, let's slow down on these. These are the professional's moat, so to speak. How does a manager, say, who uses AI to help with performance reviews, how do they practically apply empathy when the machine gives them a very objective but maybe cold assessment?
That's a perfect example of merging the machine's precision with human judgment. The machine can crunch numbers, project completion rates, communication logs, efficiency scores, and spit out a statistically objective rating.
Yeah, number-based.
But it cannot feel, it cannot understand the why behind a performance dip. It doesn't know how that rating might impact the employee's motivation, their family situation, their mental health.
Right, it lacks the human context.
Completely.
Yeah.
Empathy is the leader's skill. It's taking that cold, objective data and layering in the human context, understanding the personal costs, the struggles, the team dynamics that explain the numbers, that kind of interpersonal reading. It's non-computable. It defines compassionate, effective leadership.
Okay, that makes sense for empathy. What about ethics? AI can follow rules, right? Doesn't that make it ethical?
Not at all.
Or
Following rules isn't the same as making ethical judgments. Ethics requires moral reasoning, context-specific application of principles. A machine follows its programming. It doesn't possess a moral compass to judge if a rule itself is right in a novel situation, an ambiguous one, or a really emotionally charged one.
give an example.
Consider a leader looking at a cost-saving plan identified by AI. The plan looks great on paper, saves 15%, but Digging deeper, it disproportionately harms a small, maybe vulnerable segment of the customer base.
Ah, the AI shows the savings.
But the human leader must apply the moral framework. Is that financial saving worth the harm caused? Is it aligned with our
It's
values?
a judgment call, not a calculation.
Precisely. True leaders have to make judgments based on these nuanced moral frameworks, societal values. AI can provide data to inform the decision, predict outcomes maybe, but it cannot lead the ethical decision-making. That responsibility stays firmly human.
Okay, empathy, ethics, and the third was emotional intelligence, EQ. This feels like the skill that helps manage the fallout from the other two, the glue holding teams together during disruption.
That's a good way to think about it. EQ is that ability to navigate really complex human relationships, to manage high-stakes conflict effectively, to inspire action based on things that aren't purely rational, like passion, loyalty, belief in a mission.
The soft skills that are actually really hard.
They're the hardest. And they define genuine leadership. AI can tell you what the data says, maybe sales are down,
The facts.
the facts. But EQ tells you how to talk to the exhausted, maybe demoralized sales team member to actually turn that trend around, how to connect, motivate, rebuild confidence.
So these skills, empathy, ethics, EQ, they're essential because leadership is ultimately about influencing people, not just optimizing systems.
Exactly. You optimize systems through people.
Okay, so let's synthesize this. We're arguing the future leader needs to intentionally merge that deep human insight, the empathy, the ethics, the EQ, with the machine's speed and precision.
Yes. The AI handles the mechanics. The human handles the meaning, the morality, the motivation.
And that merging is where professional potential gets maximized.
Absolutely. If you're training yourself for this AI era, you have to invest just as much time and energy in cultivating these three non-automated skills as you do in learning prompt writing or data interpretation.
They are your professional moat, your protection against becoming irrelevant or replaceable.
They are your durable competitive advantage.
Okay, this framework mindset shift, fluency, human edge, it sounds really robust, theoretically. But professionals, leaders, they need proof. Did this approach, this fluency-focused training model, actually work in the real world? Did it deliver quantifiable results? The sources give us a very strong, very specific example here. Let's dive into that Pakistani Training Institute case study.
Yes, this case study is crucial. It provides real-world validation connecting this mindset training directly to tangible operational success. So this training institute in Pakistan, they launched a really ambitious program called it AI for Everyone.
AI for everyone. Okay.
And the scope was huge and fast. They trained over 1,000 professionals, managers, analysts, specialists from various companies in just 6 months.
Wow, 1,000 people in 6 months is serious scale. But let's focus on what they taught, the curriculum, because this seems to perfectly align with what we've been saying about fluency over coding.
Exactly. They made a very strategic choice. The program, crucially, did not center on deep technical coding.
Which would have been a huge barrier.
It would have immediately created a bottleneck, intimidated most of the target audience. Instead, the training focused entirely on cultivating the right AI mindset, teaching practical collaboration strategies like advanced prompting techniques, and showing people how to leverage AI for operational innovation within their existing roles.
Yeah.
They were laser-focused on teaching people how to lead machines, not how to build the machines themselves.
So they were essentially transforming these professionals into competent, fluent users and directors of AI, thought leaders for it.
That's the perfect description. And the results? What did the companies who sent their people report back?
This is the key question. What was the measurable outcome?
The outcome was extremely compelling, and it had two parts. First, organizations reported, on average, a 40% increase in efficiency.
40%, that's massive.
It's a huge operational gain. Not incremental, we're talking potentially transformative. Achieved in just 6 months, primarily by changing how humans interacted with this technology.
Okay, 40% efficiency gain. What was the second part?
This is just as important, maybe more telling about the mindset shift. They also reported a concurrent increase in job satisfaction among the trained employees.
Whoa. Okay, that is the ultimate proof for the whole enhancement, not replacement idea, isn't it?
It really is.
It wasn't just that the work got faster or cheaper. The actual people doing the work were demonstrably happier, more engaged.
Exactly.
Let's analyze that dual benefit. How was that 40% efficiency measured, typically? And why does focusing on mindset deliver both the hard numbers and the softer, intangible benefits?
Well, the efficiency gains were measured mostly through things like reduced time to market for new products or services, fewer errors in internal reports because AI could do initial quality checks, faster research cycles for strategic planning departments.
So tangible process improvements.
Tangible process improvements, yes. That 40% really reflects professionals successfully offloading the tedious, the repetitive, the low-value add parts of their jobs.
Through better prompting, better delegation to the machine,
Exactly. The machine started handling the operational drudgery,
which freed up the humans.
which freed up the human professionals to focus their time and energy on the high-value, strategic, creative challenges. The stuff that actually requires their unique human skills,
Mhm.
judgment, complex problem-solving, relationship building.
And that's where the job satisfaction comes from.
That has to be it. When you shift from fearing a machine will take your job to realizing the machine will take the soul-crushing, mind-numbing parts of your job,
Yeah.
your focus shifts entirely. You get to do more engaging, more stimulating, higher-value work. It feels more meaningful. This success story really validates the whole framework we've discussed.
AI, when approached with this fluency mindset, grows human potential. It doesn't diminish it.
It enhances both the output and the experience of the professional. Hashtag tag 8, outro and final takeaway.
Wow. Okay, this has been a really comprehensive deep dive. We've journeyed through the mindset shift, defined fluency, identified the steps, highlighted the human edge, and seen real-world proof. Let's try to synthesize the absolute core takeaways for you, the listener.
All right, takeaway number 1. You have to internalize this. AI fluency is the new literacy, period.
Not optional anymore.
Not optional for professional relevance, for competitive utility. And remember, it's defined by sophisticated collaboration, not deep coding skills.
Okay. Takeaway 2.
Second, the perhaps cold reality check from the sources. Those who fear AI will inevitably be led by those who understand it.
Ooh.
The choice is stark. Are you going to be the one leading the machine, directing its power? Or will you be led by the outcomes created by your peers who successfully command it?
Lead or be led. Okay. And the third takeaway.
And finally, the proof from that Pakistani case study is clear. Human potential is maximized when we align with technology, not fight against it. Embrace the enhancement model. It leads to better results, that 40% efficiency, and, crucially, higher job satisfaction.
So you really can't stop this AI wave, can you? The tech is built, it's cresting.
What's stopping it?
But you absolutely can learn to surf it by taking those practical steps. Start small, master prompt writing, evaluate critically, join communities.
And as you go on that journey, as you start building your fluency, never forget your most valuable, uniquely human assets.
Empathy, ethics, emotional intelligence.
Exactly. The technical infrastructure of AI is being built at lightning speed globally. The next, and arguably most crucial frontier, is the application of human judgment to the machine's output.
So we know the machine can deliver that 40% efficiency gain, maybe more. The final question we want to leave you with is this. Since the machines will handle the precision, the scale, the speed, how will you personally ensure that the empathy and the ethical considerations you possess consistently guide the AI tools you choose to deploy?
How do you make sure that this massive gain in power is used wisely, used to benefit your team, your customers, maybe even society,
Yeah.
and not just chasing the bottom line?
That application of human judgment, human values onto powerful technology, that really is the true essence of leadership in this new era.
It absolutely is.